What's the deal?
I saw that sheep who was selling stuff fall into the darkness.
Seriously?
I think all his money was too heavy for him. He was surrounded by a cloud of coins as he fell, shining brilliantly in the light. He looked like a shooting star. Wealth won't save your life here. You have to climb.
The trials here are just like life. You're walking a tightrope, chasing the thinnest sliver of hope. And if you slip up, it's all over. But now, I know why I must live.
Why is that?
I used to live my life for someone else, but now I'm living for myself. And the one thing I want to do most is to love Anna. Living is quite simple, but we make it complicated. Now that I've come to these realizations, I can climb with everything I've got. I'm not the powerless me, the one that was chained down by other people's expectations. I can forge my own way now. See you again, Vincent.
That's it, Daniel. Let's do our best.
I'll see you again, Vincent.
That's...
If only I bet I'll see her again today.
Who?
My wife. Left. She left me. After my business failed. And now she says she wants me to come back. Is she mocking me? It's her fault for betraying me. At least, that's what I told myself. I couldn't face going back to an empty home. And even then, I could hear her crying, and I knew it was me who was being selfish, and it's my fault she's not with me. I can't ask her to start over with me. How pathetic.
You're not pathetic.
I think I've said more here than I ever have outside. Forget what I said. Well, we're gonna forget anyway, right?
Get her back.
What does he want from me asking all those weird questions? Is he really judging men? Oh, man.
Hello. It seems you've survived, just as I predicted. But this level won't be overcome just through experience. You'll need luck as well. I see something special in you. Like the man who climbed this entire tower long ago.
So somebody got out of here before. I'm gonna do even better than he did. There's more than one person depending on me now.
This is the 13th question. Is it acceptable to marry someone based only on wealth or power?
So that's your choice. All right, let's get going. You've come more than halfway up this level. After 2 more trials, it will end. You will then be at the cathedral.
It doesn't matter where I am anymore. I'm gonna keep climbing until I've reached the goal. I'm gonna take care of everything tomorrow. After that, I'll finally be able to tell her how I feel. I'm gonna finish climbing this thing tomorrow and move on with my life.
This is the final challenge, a 10-story wall. Use your mind to create a path to the entrance for the next area.
I'm not gonna die.
Commencing Area 4. Are you ready?
Well, I'm almost there. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Right, I got it.
Edge. Undo. Pause.
Right, I got it.
Edge. Edge.
Right, I got it.
Edge.
Right, I got it.
Undo. Pause.
Right, I got it. Right, I got it. Right, I got it.
Edge. Pause.
Right, I got it.
Edge. Edge.
Right, I got it.
Edge.
Right, I got it. Right.
Edge. Undo. Undo.
Whoa! Right, I got it.
Edge.
Right. Right, I got it.
Pause.
Right, I got it. Right, I got it. Right, I got it.
Edge. 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 Pause. Pause. Edge.
Right, I got it. Right, I got it. Right, I got it.
Edge. Edge. Pause.
Welcome, little lamb. I see you've survived. Oh, you're doing amazingly. The next trial will be the last one on this floor.
Been through so much shit already. Nothing is gonna scare me off now.
This is the 14th question. If you met someone with every quality you looked for in a mate, and later learned she was a robot, could you still marry her?
So that's it then. That's my last one. Now, you're almost there. I'll say goodbye to you here. Only a very small number of sheep have ever reached the cathedral. In this century, you're the first.
Ugh.
I hear there are more holy stairs with red carpet at the top of the cathedral. Get there. But don't let go of what's important to you. If you can, then you'll be free.
It's important to me. I don't know. But I'll worry about tomorrow. In any case, I'm getting the hell out of here. Now hurry up and take me up there.
Well, I'll lead you to the next trial.
Wait for me, Catherine.
This is the final area for tonight. The glowing black hole blocks suck in anything placed on top of them. Avoid stepping on them. Once you pass this area, you'll reach your final destination, the cathedral.
Vincent Brooks. How you feel?
Who's there?
The shadow of Vincent has appeared. It's the killer. Do not die. Edge. Edge.
It's too late! All that matters is yourself, right?
Edge.
Alright, I got it. Alright.
Edge. Undo. Edge. Pause. The shadow of Vincent has appeared. It's the killer. Do not die. Edge. Edge.
It's too late!
Now's not the time to
The
be
shadow
dead.
of Vincent has appeared. It's the killer. Do not die. Edge. Edge.
It's too late! All that matters is yourself, right?
Alright, I got it.
Edge. Edge.
Alright.
Edge. Pause. Pause. Edge. Edge. Edge.
There's no point in repenting now! Coward!
Pause. Edge.
Alright.
Edge. Edge.
Alright.
Edge.
Your sin won't just disappear.
Edge.
Alright. Oh, that's cold.
Your sin won't just disappear.
Whoa! Alright. Alright.
Edge.
Whoa! Whoa!
Pause. Pause. Edge. 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 Edge.
Alright.
You're scared of being chained down, right? You're scared of being chained down, right?
Whoa! Whoa!
There's no turning back!
Edge. Pause. Edge.
There's no turning
Alright, I
back!
got it.
Edge. 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 Edge.
Whoa! Oh, that's cold. Oh, that's cold.
Pause. Edge.
Alright.
Edge. Edge.
Alright.
Edge.
There's nowhere to run! There's nowhere to run! Coward!
I'm almost there. You. You're...
I don't want to die. Where's Catherine?
Catherine? Wait a second. Voice. You're Steve, aren't you?
Huh? How do you know my name?
Well,
I'm Steve Delholme. I'm a dentist. I see. That voice. You're Vincent, aren't you? What a twist of fate. It looks like I'm cursed.
you figured something out?
I've been cursed by Catherine.
How do you get a curse from that?
Don't you get it? You're cursed too. It's revenge. For betrayal.
Revenge? And the Catherine you're talking about is...
Hey, you really don't look good. Let me call you a cab.
It's okay. I look bad, but I have a feeling I'll be able to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sorry for causing a lot of trouble. Apologize to the boss for me. See ya. feel rested. I haven't felt like this in a while. Wait, I didn't have any nightmares. Does that mean I'm saved?
Hello? Is anybody here home?
The hell?
Does anyone here want to save big money on their internet access?
Yeah, right. Phew. Man, it's been so long. What again? Give it up already!
Vincent? Are you in there?
Welcome to the cathedral. This final stage requires you and your lover to reach the final goal together. Call your companion to guide her and escape this challenge.
Catherine has appeared. It's the killer. Do not die.
Alright, I got it. I got it. Alright.
Stop right there! Catherine, over here!
You want to be free, right?
Alright. Alright, I got it.
Edge.
Alright.
Edge. Edge.
Alright, I got it.
Edge.
You like it, excellent.
Edge.
Stop right there! Catherine, over here!
Edge.
You're just his dead weight.
Pause. Undo. Edge.
Alright, I got it.
Edge.
Stop right there! Catherine, over here!
Edge. Undo. Edge.
You like
Alright, I got it.
Edge.
I getting pregnant?
All right, I got it.
You're just his dead weight.
Stop right there. Catherine, over here.
You want to be free, right? You're just his dead weight.
Just a little more. Stop right there. Over here. All right.
Congratulations. That was a splendid climb. The cathedral was not your final resting place.